tried to get out and probably slipped back there. I don't know.
The fact that you could drown a duck is crazy, yo.
I don't know.
The fact, oh my God.
Listen,
yo.
my brother was trying. We got home because he was into animals, and we got home. Poor little thing.
Oh my
He
God.
He took it outside in the backyard and buried it.
How do you drown a duck?
That's crazy.
That is crazy. that is crazy. I ain't
And,
never heard
he
nothing like
brought
that.
it home, cleaned it up. It was beautiful, nice little yellow duck. It really was a yellow duck.
No, you know what's funny? Alicia Fag. If you haven't met her, you probably did. You probably just met her in passing.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful woman. But I took my daughter to go visit her the other day, and she has chickens.
Oh, wow.
So she got 3 chickens.
Oh.
Raised them from young too. Was they little chicks to full grown chickens? Yeah, they big now. I was like, damn, you know what I'm saying? So
Were they running around in the house?
No, she got them in the backyard.
Oh.
She got them in the backyard, but they're big though. Like I never seen a live chicken before. Like
she gonna eat them later.
That's what. No, you heard something funny? I said that to her one time, and she got mad. Like a whole vibe of me changed. I was like,
what
yeah.
you gonna do with them
I made some type of chicken joke, and it was over. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yo, I think you would have thought I talked about her mother or something. The way she.
Listen, she raised them.
Yo, that's what I'm saying.
Does she have children?
Oh yeah, she has a daughter.
Well,
she do have a, but no, but it really is her baby.
Hey, people have dogs, they have cats, they have horses.
Right. She just so happened to be the chicken whisperer.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow, I like that.
But,
chicken whisper.
But my daughter, I thought my daughter was going to be like a little afraid or something. Nah. But my daughter, early on, she was like somewhat of a tomboy. I don't even know what we consider as a tomboy. She just like playing in dirt.
Yeah.
So she would just play. Like I would just sit her out. Luckily, that my house at the time had a little bit of grass in front, and she would just take a stick and just dig it in the ground over and over again. So
I hate that term.
What's that?
Tomboy. I hate that.
Okay.
I don't even know where it stemmed from, but I hate that term because a kid is a kid. It to me, what really defines what makes a little boy and what makes a little girl besides like dolls and I don't know.
No. I mean, let's go down. Let's continuously. I do think that there are some I don't want to say well, I guess like I said, like some there are some toys and stuff that are kind of gender specific that should, but I also think that these are kind of things that typically boys go for. Like typically girls you want to see them as being more prissy, more clean, and boys you expect to get dirty. So when you see a little girl digging in dirt, it's like, no, that's what the boy's supposed to do. But
listen. Well, let's stay with the term tomboy.
Okay.
I used to climb walls. I used to play football on concrete.
Okay.
Baseball, concrete, all of that. So I just, it was fun.
Right.
It wasn't a gender thing for me.
Right.
It was just, I'm having fun.
Right.
And it just happened to be more boys doing it than girls. And again, I think society too. I mean, because I don't want to go too down a rabbit hole, but I believe just, when you are a little girl, people throw stuff in your face to make you own it.
Okay.
Just like with the little boys. Like you said, you saw your daughter playing in dirt. You like, you might not have said it, but no, baby, that's not what you're supposed to do. And it's like,
right.
She's a kid. I would love to see an experiment on just not exposing girls to girly things and boys to boy things, just to see how they evolve just as children.
Okay.
Just as children.
No. I feel what you're saying with that, and I understand. Let me give you a very personal situation I went through as a when I was coming up. My sister, she's 11 years older than me. Okay, and sometimes when she needed someone to play, I was it. Like when she wanted to play, I was, and there was a lot of times my mom told her, go play with your little brother, And I never forgot one time we was outside and she's jump roping with all her girlfriends. They needed somebody to turn. Right. So I got volunteered for that. You know what I'm saying? And so I learned how to turn rope. Like to this day, I know how to like turn double dutch. But my uncles was like, no, that's not what boys do. And they curved that really, like, it was like, no, it was like my uncles with my mom had was like very passive over the years. It was always like, even when I had an issue, it was always like, hey boy, that's your mother, you respect your mother, you know, like they never really stood up for anything that I might have was going through or anything like that. But when it came time for me to be doing something that's considered to be girly, they curved that, you know. So, and in some ways, I guess I appreciated them for it, because I feel like if I would have went down that path, my life could have been so much more different. And I think that they just shown me that this is not what men do. You know, this is not something that little boys do. Could it be a little closed-mindedness at times? I think so. You know, I think we could be a little bit closed-minded at times, but I also think that it is important that we do have, I guess, a particular lane, you know, that people like should go down there. You know, we are, you know, it's funny. I just had a conversation with Mahalia. You know Mahalia. And shout out to Mahalia. She's been on the platform before, and we had a conversation of asking, are men and women equal? Are men and women equal? Now, I made the argument that I don't think that men and women are equal.
It depends on what you're talking about, though.
So, well, she made the reference of the yin. I think it's called the yin yang, the yin and the yang, where it's two opposing opposites but working in perfect unison with each other. And at first, I was kind of like, I don't know if I agree with that. And the reason why I say I don't know if I agree with that, because I felt like it was important for us as men to always know that you're not necessarily my equal. I can't do all the things. Like, I can't talk to you the way I would talk to another man. I can't do the things to you as another man. So it's like, it's important for me to keep that in the front of my head, so to speak. But I kind of get where she's going with that. What's your thoughts?
See, you asked the wrong person. I mean, I might get a.
Hey man, this is a hard platform right here.
No,
This is another platform for the, you know.
I don't feel that I'm equal to a man, because men and women go through so many different things.
Right.
So I would say I'm a compliment to a man. I wouldn't say I'm equal to him, because how can you say that you're equal when we go through monthly bodily changes that a man doesn't?
True.
How can we say that we equal where you have more strength than me physically?
Right.
So it's and we think differently.
That's kind of where my thinking is. Like, we can't be equal because of that. Like, I have to keep you in mind. Like, if me and you needed to pick up this couch, we will clearly see who's the stronger one, you know, between us, you know. Right. So it's like we have some things that are like totally different, but I do kind of unagree. I agree with the mindset that we must work together or like in perfect harmony. Like, you know, it's like the perfect ball of chaos. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, like we have to work together in order for, you know, or for us to function, whether that be a relationship or a community.
Right.
You know, and I think sometimes. I think we have definitely gotten out of a space of feeling like we actually need each other in our community.
I hear it all the time. Speaking of that, just on the last panel of Single Dish, right? Okay. Where it was like, I don't need a man. And how do you not need something that was designed, we were designed in the way to need each other? Okay. And you can't say, I don't know. I can't. I'm not going to even say it's a new generation or just a new mindset. I need a man to check me, correct me in situations where I'm not going to jump in another man's face. Okay. So if there's a conversation that's being had and it's being escalated, I'm not going to jump in a man's face and fight that battle. More than likely, I'm gonna pick up the phone, call one of my brothers, and say, you know what, I'm having this situation. Right. I'm not telling you this for you to, you know, come and hurt somebody, but I'm telling you this because I don't want to react a certain way. So, not saying that, but I need a guy to talk to a guy.
I agree. I agree. I totally, I'm 100% agree. My question is, well, I want to give you a little bit of pushback, but my
All right.
question to you is, how did you get to that place in which you realized that, like you might need that you need a man, and that there were certain areas of your life that you realized that I might not be the best suited for. How did you get to that space?
Having conversation with my dad and my brothers.
Mm,
And I grew up like my brothers always being and my dad always being my protectors.
mm,
So there's things that I know I can do on my own, but there's things I know I can't do.
mm,
I'm not I'm not lifting 50 pounds or something where I know my brother right here, he could do it for me. And
mm.
because I don't have that strength, I probably could, but I'm not. I'm not going to deal in certain situations where it needs a man perspective
Mm.
if I'm dealing with a man, because my thought process is totally different than your thought process.
Right.
I'm thinking, and 9 times out of 10, I'm thinking with my emotions, where you're thinking with your head. I'm thinking with my heart, and
Right.
you're not. And sometimes the roles are reversed, but for the most part, some men think logically.
Right.
Some women do too, but we think more emotionally. I'm going to get in trouble for this, but it's the truth though.
No, no, I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So knowing those things, and like the last time I was on the platform when I shared that when getting into my business, I felt like I could do it all on my own, and then I
Right.
found out that there was mistakes and there was things that I went about wrong. But I had a man in my corner telling me, listen, do it this way, do it that way. And I just heard no constantly,
Right.
because it wasn't what I wanted to do, but it made sense later on,
Right.
So, and then I'm reaping not all the benefits from the
Right.
decisions that I made when I could have just listened. So you do need a man in your life to help you along the way. Just like making decisions, like I said, because sometimes my girlfriends will be like, yeah, the high fives, but they're not giving me the advice that I truly need from a different perspective.
No, I agree. I also want to take it a step further is, in addition to having someone that's not so emotional, and that could kind of like does looking at it from somebody logical, usually not, well, generally speaking, the man is also willing to accept responsibility when it goes wrong. So when that advice that he gives you does not pan out, it becomes, baby, I'll take care of it. I got it. I'll make sure that we correct the situation. And I know I'm about to get beat up for this one, but to where sometimes on the other side of that, we don't necessarily get that from the women. Sometimes when the women are the head of the household or the head of the situation and things don't get wrong, at the very best you might get, you did it too, or they did this and I did that. It's not a sense of that was my bad, my judgment call was flawed, and I'm going to set responsibility for that. And so I think that's the reason why having a man is also equally important. And one of the things you touched on was in that mindset. I think a lot of times women become resentful when they're not, when they gotta call on a man. It's like, damn it, I can't lift this up. I gotta call his ass.
You know what? A lot of not needing a man stems from growing up around women who told us that we don't need to rely on a man. You can make your own money. You can get your own house. You can have your own job. You can do all of these things. You don't need a man to validate what you do. And so we grew up with that mindset that, yeah, I can do all of that myself. I don't need a man to, pay my bills, and, I only really need him for one thing. Oh, and I
Right.
really don't need him for that, because there's other things out here that I can utilize
Right.
to replace it.
Right.
And growing up in situations like that, in an environment like that, it's not true. Because what it does is it teaches you, it doesn't teach you how to be in a relationship with a man. It doesn't.
I don't
It
think it
doesn't
teach you how to
teach you real
coexist with people.
relationships.
I don't think that stuff is even teach you how to coexist with
It
people.
doesn't.
Because I look at some of the women relationships and I'm like, y'all relationships are on thin ice at y'all best. Like y'all can't even afford to miss each other's birthday.
Right.
Like if I swear to goodness, it was a video that went on where a woman was dressing a certain kind of way, like she was dressing a little bit sexy, and a birthday girl was like, you know, you're taking away shine from me. And I was like, y'all relationships become so finicky that it's like even like no man can step in there, and damn near almost no woman,
Right.
except unless they're co-signing everything that you're saying. I will say it's a I don't want to finger point, but I guess it is a part of me that says like, you know, we do need to address this, because this right here is not turning out the way it's supposed to be in our community. Like, you know.
Again, it's teaching. We were taught to be self-made,
We need each
and
other.
we can do things. Again, you don't need anybody.
Right.
That whole mentality. You don't need anyone to be a better you, and it's like how am I supposed to be a better me if I'm not exposed to certain type of relationships?
Right.
If I can't relate to certain people. So a lot of times people internalize what they're missing. So if you're not having good relationships with your mother, if you're not having good relationships with your siblings, if you're not having good relationships with your friends, you're going to internalize that, and it's not going to look pretty on the outside. So you keep showing up with this tough exterior and this I'm all about me exterior, but all in all, you're inside, you're hurting, and you're taking in all this pain because you want those relationships,
Right.
but you don't know how to get them, manage them, and keep them going. So
Right.
what you do is you constantly keep pushing people away from you.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, when you get to a point when you're starting to heal yourself, and now you want those relationships, people are like, nah, I don't want to deal with you.
Right.
You know, I don't want to deal with that because this is what you showed me. That whole, you show me who you are. That's who you are.
I shout out to my man Vern. He told me this he been told me this a few years ago, but it clicked, and it was like people may not remember what you said, but they remember how you made them feel. You know, and a lot of times people are like, you know, as it comes to a relationship, they're like, man, I don't want to mess with him no more because I remember when he said that and I felt like crap. I don't remember, and I'm sorry, I need to complete my thought, but with saying that, I also think that we're not tough like how we used to be back in the day. Meaning that, like, I feel like people throw the word they hating around so easy these days, and it's like anytime that somebody is not telling the person what they want to hear, it's like people go into this defense mode and they don't ever actually, like, everybody is above reproach. Everybody is above criticism these days. Like, if you was to tell somebody and say, hey man, the way you going about that is all wrong, or they just hating and so forth and so on. And we live in this world where there's so many co-signers to that, where that's another part of the reason why to where we just constantly repeating the same problems over and over again, because no one can say, hey, homeboy, you dating all these women out here. One of these women got to be your wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember I had a conversation with one of my homies, and I was like, yo, bro, you got 5 baby moms. One of these women got to be your woman. Like, she got to be your wife. Like, we can't have you having more baby moms and stuff out here.
Right.
We got to be able to say, like, man, one of these women right here who was willing to give you, was willing to duplicate you, you know, we got to be able to hold your feet to the fire. And he was receptive. But we also got to say that to the woman as well. You dating the same dude over and over again. You keep picking these ain't shit men to reproduce with. You know, it's like we gotta be able to hold your feet to the fire with that. You know, because it's not helping our community.
It goes back to what I said, when you are raised to believe that you can do it all yourself, and you don't therefore you don't have any accountability partners. You don't have anybody to be accountable to. Therefore, you are going to remain in this mindset that I don't need anybody to check me. I don't need anyone to validate me at all because I'm about self. And then when you get into the world and that's not a thing, you don't know how to react and respond to it. So you're going to react and respond to it the best way you know how to. And it comes off as you can't tell me who I need to be. You can't tell me. And it's like, I'm not telling you. I'm just helping you. I'm just assisting you. Some people don't know how to take help. They don't know how to ask for it, and they don't know how to accept it. It's almost as if you feel like they're bashing you. And it goes back to like what I said. You internalize it also. Now you know you need it, but if you need it and you've been living so long without it, how do I now change that? Now I'm going to look funny. Now people going to think all this time I was faking and stuff like that. So no one wants to be looked upon that way. So, they're just going to they're going to keep doing what they're doing.
That makes sense. I mean, that makes sense. I mean, one of the things that we talked about earlier was communication, and it's like, I think that there needs to be a healthy line of communication with black men and black women, especially with black men and black women. I don't feel like there's not too much grace on either side. I feel like black men don't give women grace. And the reason why I say that is because, and I'm only using social media. I'm only picking on social media because that's something that everybody had access to. So, because I be hating when people be like, not me and my friends. I'm like, I don't know your friends. Like, I don't know who you are. Like, you know what I'm saying? I be talking about something in general. They be making it so personal. Like, me and my homegirl Tasha, we don't do that. And I be like, I don't know. Well, yeah. Like, I don't know. So I'm just using the social media. But a lot of times when I see, especially black men and black women, it just seems like it's more of an attack. It's like, geez, can they get their point across? Can they complete a thought? Can they complete their sentence? And I feel as though that trickles over into real life. Same thing with black women. Every time I see a black woman on my Instagram feed, it's something negative about a black man.
Yeah,
and it trickles over into real life.
Yeah. First of all, communication starts at the home.
Okay.
It starts with mom, dad, siblings. If you can't communicate with your mother, if you can't communicate with your father, if you can't communicate with your siblings in your family, how are you going to communicate with anyone outside the house?
But what if your family is crazy though? Because I mean, I got some craziness.
If you can't communicate in craziness, you can't. The world is crazy.
It's true. That's true. That's true.
But if you don't have clear communication, seriously, you know how you like when we have our conversations, and we're very transparent.
Right.
If I can't come to you, if I can't go to my partner and have those same conversations, then our relationship is not really real.
Okay.
In my opinion.
Okay.
Like when we spoke earlier, you interviewed Lady Sarcasm, and one of the things she said in a relationship, she said, I like my husband.
That is not what she said.
I don't cuss.
She said, I
F with my husband.
Right, okay.
And she said, I love him. But she said, if I don't like him and I don't mess with him like that, she was like, then what do we have? I'm paraphrasing what she said.
No, for sure.
But it's the truth. So if I don't like myself, how am I going to like you?
No, I agree with that. I agree, and I definitely shout out to Lady Sarcasm, because that was definitely a jewel, and I just love the fact that she was so unapologetic about it. And I think that's a message that we do need to hear, because when you bring somebody into your life, it's like it's a choice to have them there. So it's like, by you being a choice here, I'm not going to make you regret your decision.
Right.
And I think a lot of times people get into these like relationships, and it's like, let me get in a relationship so I can prove I don't need your ass. And it's like, that defeats the whole purpose. I just went through that with a woman I was involved with. I told her, I said, I think the worst thing that ever happened to us was the fact that you started liking me. I was like, I felt like the moment you started really liking me is the moment you started pushing me away.
Wow.
And then what happened of it is, it gets older, and then that multiplies, and then you start looking, and then now you start going through this, they just beating you up over here. I see this.
Know, but it's good though.
But no, now when you get older, you realize like you don't have the relationships that you probably should have had.
Now I'm gonna touch on something real quick that you said. So in that relationship, right? Did you guys agree upon we're not going to be in a relationship? We're just going to be friends.
We did. It's
right.
That all right. So we gonna put it out there. So that relationship was definitely complicated. it got complicated. It got complicated. It was like definitely started off as just being friends and everything else. But
So wait a minute.
go ahead.
So you started off by saying we're just going to be friends, right?
Right.
I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm not looking for a relationship, right? So wait.
I'm not saying nothing.
So when did it become? When did it get to the point that now I'm liking you too much and I'm gonna push you away? You understand what I'm saying?
No, for sure,
Yeah.
sure. I think that one of the things is, and I see this, I say this about women and to men because I date women, so I'm not, for the women, it's like, let me put that prerequisite out here, ladies. I'm not saying men don't do it too. I'm just saying as a man, I feel as though that women cannot be with a man but for so long and not expect or not to fall in love or not to get them feelings involved. Some women are better than others at it, of course, but let me give you an example.
So you saying men can't?
I'm not saying men can't. I'm just
Okay.
saying that as a man, like let's just say hypothetically, I got a woman. We just agree to be friends. But the truth of the matter of it is, I'm very much her type. I am. Maybe she's just not in a space where maybe she's going through some stuff that she's not in a space. But I'm very much the kind of man that she will ultimately want to be with. She's only we can only sleep with each other for so many times before her feelings truly gets involved.
But doesn't a man? But at the same,
I think we could cut it off a little bit easier. It's a little bit easier for us. It's a
but
little bit easier.
is it really?
Yeah, I mean, no, for sure.
So you telling me really, a man is not gonna catch feelings?
I'm not saying you don't catch feelings, but okay, let me give you an example. Let's say hypothetically,
this is a deep conversation.
Let me give you a better one. Okay, so let's just say hypothetically, I'm sleeping with a woman, right? And she likes me, and then it comes time that she meets another man that she likes, but she don't want to sleep with him because she's currently sleeping with me. She's going to get in her feelings and feel some kind of way because she's like, typically speaking, most women do not want to sleep with multiple men. Typically speak, I know things times have changed, but women do not typically want to sleep with multiple men, especially within like a short amount of time frame.
Right,
Like,
true.
So they may be like, I just slept with Zach this day. I don't want to sleep with, Paul on Monday, and I sleep with somebody on Tuesday.
That's crazy,
you know what I'm saying?
Right before he said the name, I was thinking of Paul.
Paul,
I lied to you.
the good way. We on the same wavelength. So they don't want to. Typically, they don't want to do that. Here's another example. Let's say they sleeping with me. They giving me all their, they sleeping with me. They giving me access to their body. They making themselves available to me, everything like that. And I have been in circumstances where Valentine's come around, and it's like, you gonna take me out and do something with me? You're like, well, technically we just friends. I mean, we're not really anything. Or a holiday will come around, or a major event at their job, and they need a date. So suddenly they're looking at you with the side eye, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why his ass really here now? And I got, so I think they're more likely to do that. A man, I think, if a woman will give us, and it's sad to say, but it's the truth. If a woman is going to give us access to her body, regardless of what circumstance, we're going to try to make that work. Like, we could be getting married that same day, and it's like, damn, but maybe I don't got to be at the wedding till 2. I could maybe hit that ass at 10. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it work. And it takes a lot of discipline. Right. It takes a lot of discipline from men. I mean, now,
hold on. Now, what if the guy really likes the woman and she decides that she want to cut it off? How from a man's perspective, the woman says, you know what, this is not working.
Sure.
And I like I said, I wanted us to be friends, and I see that it's growing into something more. And she like, I don't want to do this anymore. But the guy really caught feelings.
I mean, that really do happen. I mean, I guess
can a man turn it off like that?
I think the men typically can turn it off a little bit easier. I'm not saying that there haven't been circumstances where women haven't said, hey man, I want to part ways or whatever the case may be. And in my humble case, they've been actually the best circumstances because it's no drama, no hard feelings, because she's in the driver's seat, so to speak. So it's kind of like, like bet, because the alternative is I got someone throwing me on a T app talking shit about me. and saying that I lied to him and misled him and everything like that. So when she's the one that's like, nah, like, it ran its course, I want to move on.
Okay.
It's cool. I know for me personally as well is I typically want the best for any woman that I involve myself with, and I also understand that I'm not always the best man for that. Like,
now let me ask you. So you're dating this woman again. Y'all just friends, but you make yourself available to her, right?
Right.
Often. And then she decides to cut it short. Why does a man then says, well, I'm not going to be available to her anymore because she's not.
Well, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I mean, it's the same thing. If she tells me,
but wait.
Right.
But you guys are friends though.
Sure.
So this is what I'm saying. So.
But she just took away something though, correct?
What did she take away?
She took away access to her body, correct?
Wow.
No, but I'm asking.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can. If fair exchange, there's no robbery. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't go out for. I'm not saying you don't have no feelings for her, but if that was your thing, if that was your arrangement, if the arrangement was, see, I don't believe in fair. If fair exchange is no robbery with me.
Okay.
So when I meet a woman and she tells me that a man is leading with the money, I'm like, get him, get his ass, girl, like, sick him, get him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Like, because it's like you're leading with your. The problem I have with women that get men for money is they want to get the 9-to-5 dude, the SEPTA worker, and it's like he can't take you to Miami or Dubai and drop a bag on you and get you a Birkin. Stop putting this unnecessary pressure on this man. The dude. But now, if he's leading with his wallet, if he's like, yo, you know, I didn't hit this overtime up and I got this going for me and I could do that, sure. Get them all day. It's the same thing. If a woman is leading sexually, like if she is on some stuff like when she's flaunting her body and she is showing me that the best part of her is her sexual, you can't be mad at anyone for going forward. You know what I'm saying?
What if it's both?
I'm just saying. But that's the reason why. So no, but I'm just trying to answer your point. I'm sorry, I'm being long-winded. But so if a woman was to say, I no longer want to sleep with you, a man could say, well, I no longer want to have provisions for you. Because that was our arrangement from the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
But y'all were friends.
Yeah. But
now, do you cut her? Wait, do you cut her completely off, or is it just like you don't?
It might be a healing process. It might be.
So, but I'm
I
saying,
need to do me for a little while.
You say you just don't have that type of access to me?
Well, is she? I think it would be unfair for a man to feel as though he still could sleep with a woman, or and like he don't provide anything for. I don't want to make it sound so transactional, but if a man was to say, "Hey, babe, I'm sleeping with you. Hey, can I help you a little bit, or can I do something for you?" You know, I think that's just the common courtesy thing to do. And if that stops, I don't necessarily think you should go cold turkey, but it's all about your circumstances. Like because women are very much now, I don't think women can actually stick to it. I guess that's where I'm coming from. I don't think women really know what they're asking for, or what they're, like when women say this, I think like a man, it's like, you might be able to play the game for a little bit, just like as if you was playing football. There are some positions in football that are a lot safer than being in the middle. You know, like if you are a wide receiver, you might go play a couple of games as a wide receiver because you only playing on, this side of the ball and they only got to throw it to you. But when it's time to get hit, you're going to realize that you don't belong in this game.
So why not have that conversation up front saying, we're friends with benefits, right? But when the benefits are no longer benefiting,
right,
you can't ask me to do anything for you, or you won't have that access to me.
You want to have an honest conversation?
Yes, let's do it.
I don't think women, as a man, again, ladies, I'm only talking from a man talking about a woman.
That's fine.
No, only reason why I stress that because the first thing that men do it too, and it's like, yes, we do. I get it, but I'm just saying, as a man in this hot seat, I'm just go ahead. I'm just making a point that I don't think that. I don't want to say that women again can't play the game, but I don't think that women are not as easy to talk to and as easygoing as you might think. A lot of times it's kind of like, you ever have a kid and it's like you see a kid walking and it's kind of like it's too hard to stop them from walking, so you just kind of clear the stuff around them. Sometimes it's like that with dealing with a woman. I'm not trying to say that women are like children. I'm just making a metaphor of saying that it's easier to clear a path around them and let them do them, because it's so easy to talk yourself out of sex with a woman, right? Because women typically don't appreciate true, brutal honesty. Like, there had never been a man who have ever, there's been that said, yo, you got some bad chicks that have been on your platform. There's been some dudes that say, yo, bro, how did you find them? But there's never been a dude that be like, yo, man, I gotta sit where you at. Because the conversation is too honest. And I will, in my comments, you'll see more women that will disagree with me and will fight me. And I've had women who have done some pretty, like, try to get my page suspended. I have women who have tried to get my page suspended. I have women who have said bad things. I have had women who looked at my page and was like, I don't want to date them because of such. And I'd be like, damn. But then when you look at it, the brother who's lying to them, the brother who's telling them all what they want to hear, the person who's blatantly pandering, like not the guy that's like somewhat pandering. You're talking about the 5'2" dude who's telling a woman everything what she wants to hear. And they're the guys that's winning. So I think until women change their value system, that's when they're going to become a little bit more like, that's when they're going to start getting like the true authentic of what a man really feels and think and everything like that. Like, I'm not trying to sleep with you. I'm not trying to sleep with the women that come on my platform. I'm not trying to go there. At the end of the day, I actually enjoy what I do. So you see that rawness and authenticness. But if I was trying to sleep with you, the conversation will be a lot more different, because I got something in mind that I'm trying to win, if that makes sense.
You know what? I will agree with you on something you said, because I have been told the truth, but I still couldn't believe it was the truth. I still was like, no, you're lying. It's like, no, you asked me for the truth. I'm giving it to you, and you still don't believe me.
Right.
What is it going to take for you to believe me? I don't know. I need proof. I need to see it.
Right.
It has to, I had to visually see it. It's like, no, I'm telling it to you.
Right.
And you still don't believe me. So I do agree with you on that point.
Right.
That, it can be right in front of our face and we just be like, it's like, I'm being honest, so now I'm going to lie to you. And
Right.
you're going to accept that, but you won't accept my truth. So I agree. I agree with you on that.
Now, there's a certain part about being respectfully, what is it called? Like a respectful lie. Like there's, a respectful lie is like if a pastor walked by us right now as we filming this, I might put my drink away. I'm not drinking, y'all guys. I'm just making a point.
Sorry, guys. It's like,
but we outside.
We outside.
We outside. So, but I might put something away because I just want to respect your feelings. I recognize that a pastor is coming. I respect him as a pastor, so I'm gonna not curse. I'm gonna put my bud away. I'm gonna put my drink away, because I'm not hiding who I am. I just want to respect your positioning as the pastor. Some of that sometimes come with the women too. It's like, I respect you as my woman, so I don't want to necessarily lie to you, but I'm just trying to put this away on the side, because we might be just friends, but I can't tell you that I'm still sleeping with my baby mom. You know what I'm saying?
See, and that's the thing. It's like, right, like you said, you can't have it both ways. You either want the truth or you don't. So how do we come to a medium to say, so is it just women just need to accept when a man is telling the truth? But then how is a woman to know that he's telling the truth?
I think women need to change their value system. I think if women change their value system, I think that they will get better results. I think
when you say value system, what do you mean? Okay,
let's look at the most toxic man you could, right now, imagine the most toxic man you could possibly think of. I'm talking about the dude that got babies by multiple women that he's not taking care of. The man that has no, I'm not going to say job, but no way of supporting any of the women that he sleeps with, or what comes out. The man that is super aggressive, fit every negative stereotype. Is he ever single?
No.
Is he ever without a woman?
No.
So what does that tell you to the brother that's coming behind him? The brother that's coming behind him does not say, I need to get my shit together. The brother that's coming behind them don't say, yo, I'm going to need to do right and go get my education. I need to take care of my woman. You hear that from, no disrespect, from the older women, midlife women, 50-year-old women, because they had them toxic ass men all their life, and now they want something different.
Right.
But when they got to 21, 22, 23, those women up until 50, they're saying they want the soldier. They want the thug dudes. They want the...
Because we think that we had this conversation before, because we think we can change that man to what we want them to be.
So there's no incentive
Right, okay.
for a person to do better.
Right.
There's no incentive. Like if you incentivize, like right now, if you was a neo soul artist, like if you was to be like, I am a poet, what incentive do you have to actually come out besides it's just a dream of mine? There's no real financial incentives, because they're throwing their money to the Sexy Reds and the Glorillas and the Stallions and stuff. So if you wanted to sit in front of a chair and talk, you might not have as much as incentive other than your own personal incentive, because the world is telling you that, yo, the way you want to get on is to do what they take some clothes off, show something.
Right.
So it's the same thing with one of the things I talk about too on my platforms and have before is, I feel like men gotta stop financially incentivizing bad behavior in women.
I agree.
I think if men stop financially incentivizing the bad behavior, think about it. Women are going to Dubai to get crapped on. You know what I'm saying? Like seriously, like it's like $100,000 that a woman is going to Dubai to get crapped on. To a woman that's hurting, to a woman that maybe just say, like, let's just say hypothetically she's a mother of 3 and she's trying to take care of her kids and trying to find a way out of no way, and got a big ass yellow eviction notice waiting for her as soon as she get home, and car broke down. That 100 bands is tempting. Now we could all sit here and cast judgment and be like, yo, that's crazy. But when you hurting, I'm talking about hurting. I went to prison for 8 years because of mine. I bust my ass for, I think, 3 years to get my home. I got my house and then was on the brink of losing it and going on foreclosure. Man, I did the most stupidest stuff I could possibly do to save that house. So it wasn't until I got into them same situations. But I would just say, like, men, or not even men, black men, we're losing the integrity and the dignity of our women. All this offering money for them, busting it open and doing all this crazy stuff, it's cool in the moment.
But you want to know what, though? I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're cool.
I want to make sure I remember what I was going to say. I oftentimes, it's not about money. It may appear to be about money, but it's not. And it really comes down to some factors. Again, not knowing how to have a good relationship with a male figure. So if I don't know what a good man looks like, if I don't know what, how a man is supposed to treat me, then I'm going to go out here and try to, I think I know.
Right.
Society told me what a good man and supposed to look like and be like, but I'm out here going after these duds because those are the images that I seen in my life. So
I agree.
It's a lot of different pieces to the puzzle as to why some women pick the men that they choose. Because, and I don't get into statistics and things like that, because if you take a young lady who has their father in her life, there's certain paths that she's not going to go down. And 9 times out of 10, those are the young ladies that are married and going to stay married. Especially if especially if their parents are still together, or if their parents are not together, their parents still have a dope relationship.
Right.
So she's not going to go after a certain type of guy. Sometimes, because it could be rebellious
short-lived
behavior.
If she do, it's short-lived, and she's not going to produce children out of it.
Right. So, like for me, I had, my brother's going to kill me. My one brother, I tell you, he's a piece of work.
Right.
But I will always say that's the type of guy I don't want. Because my brother, chocolate brother, all the girls wanted him. My other brother, he's a sweet dude. They had women, right? And I was like, oh, I'm definitely not going after a guy like that. So I know what to look for, right?
Right.
I'm like, I already know what to look for. I see it every day. But I chose some of those
Same
womanizing
characteristics.
men. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
right.
Because to me, it's like, all right, but you with me though. It was about control. You're with me, and I'm going to make you into the man that I need you to be for me.
But at least as a woman, see, with men, y'all will be told that man ain't shit. Y'all will be told that man ain't nothing. Like women will be looked at as like a brother would tell his sister, don't date men like me. A father would tell his daughter, hey, stay away from men like me. You know, we don't get that as sons. A lot of times, like I had a conversation with a friend of mine. She was like, yeah, men will go out here and date these same ratchet ass women. And I'd be like, that's because they look like our mothers. We don't like to talk a lot about that. But a lot of the reason to why we find these women so comforting is because our mother acted the exact same way. And we was told to praise our mothers. And we're told to praise these women as well. And that's the reason why you see some of the level-headed brothers that will still go after some of the ratchet chicks, because that part of us haven't been healed yet. We can't have that conversation.
Right.
So it's like, so even with this,
You need to talk more about that.
saying that could definitely get me pulled off it. Like, I don't want to say pulled off of this platform, but like I have had women where they have watched this episode and they'll be like, I loved everything of it, but that one part you said about the women, and it'll be like they'll just block out. And I'm like, you gotta have an open conversation.
Yeah.
It is not a place. This number one. My platform is not an echo chamber.
Right.
Okay, I refuse to make it that. I refuse. I don't want it to be a point the finger, tear each other down place. But I don't want it to be an echo chamber. I want somebody who got a difference of opinion. And I would encourage anybody who have a difference of opinion to please come on. Let's have this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not until we have the conversation things are going to actually change. I'm just a believer in that.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in that. It takes a good word and things to spark that fire, so to speak. But the reason to why you have so many men that are gravitate towards obvious bad women is because, number one, we're told that there's no woman that is actually bad.
Right.
Like, we as black men are told to celebrate mediocrity in women. You know, don't matter her past, don't matter her weight, don't matter her attitude, don't matter her bad behavior. We are told that a man, like I have seen where a woman said, where it was said, like, if a woman is not where she want to be financially, a man should show her how to get it. But it was like, all right. So, my apologies, you guys. We know the conversation was getting really good. The battery, full transparency, the battery died on the camera. So unfortunately, we just kind of had to start over a little bit. Well, not necessarily start over, but then we kept running our mouths and we kept talking about everything else. So, but then we just recently just started talking about how do a man's mother or his relationship with his mother affect how does he treats the women in his life. Your thoughts?
So it depends on the relationship with the mother. If the mother is very territorial, if she comes off like, raising her son, you're the man of the house and you have to take care of the responsibilities of the house, and then he starts to date a woman and the mother is always involved, that relationship with any woman may not be the best, right? Or if you have a volatile relationship with your mother, she's always in your face, she always putting you down and what's the word?
Demasculating?
Yes.
Okay.
Her son, it's going to do something to him mentally, and honestly, he may go to the other side because if this is how women is.
Sure.
Full transparency, I had a conversation with my grandson the other day, and blew my mind because he's 13.
Okay.
And he said, Zach, you gonna be like, what? He said he doesn't want to date black women.
Wow.
And I said,
wow.
He said, I won't date any other races. He said, I'll date a Spanish girl. He said, but black women, they're loud, they are controlling, they're mean, and I'm just like, and I said, am I that way? And he said, you can be. And he said, oh, and they crazy.
Wow.
So I said, wait, what? And it just really, again, he 13, and he's only around the women in the family. So it just made me look at it and be like, what are we showing him?
Damn.
Like, what are we showing him? What are we teaching him?
That's a lot to unpack.
You know what I'm saying? And it really took me back. And I said, well, and I just started running down, is your auntie that way? He's like, nah, auntie's cool.
Right.
He said, but you and my mom.
Wow.
And I said, well, when you say, he said, you always yelling at me. And I said, what do you mean about me yelling at you? He was like, you come in the house and you'll just start yelling. I said, no. Is it that I've told you to do something and you didn't do it, so now I'm angry?
Sure.
And now I have to yell to make you do it. He said, but why do you have to yell at me to make me do it? Why can't it just be something like you just saying, hey, didn't I tell you to do this and you didn't do it, so just do it. He said, no, but you yell at me and you say, oh, then you want to threaten me and this, that, and the third. And so he was like, so I don't like that. He's like, so from that point, it just makes me not really want to date a black woman. And I was like, what do you say? Like,
wow.
It.
No,
again, I'm still shocked
deep.
Behind it.
No, that's deep. That's a lot to unpack. I mean, it's a lot of layers to that.
Again, 13. He ain't even supposed to be dating nobody.
Right. I mean, because as a father, I have told my daughter that I don't want her to date a man like myself. Mm-hmm. Just because I'm at a space where like I'm still financially trying to find my footing, and I want her to have the best of the best. So it's kind of like there's a side of me to say, if you could get a man that could provide you with a better life, because I know everybody gets on this internet and they're rich. Everybody gets on here and it's like, I make six figures when I wake up in the morning. I unfortunately don't. Like I'm still in a path of finding my way financially. And so there's a side of me that just wants more for my little girl. But if she didn't want to date me because of my character or some of the bad flaws that she's seen of me, I think that would cut a little bit deep. That would just it will cut deeper. I do think that black women, as an overall, they have a bad branding image, right? Like what I mean like that is like if you look at like Coca-Cola or like Pepsi, it's like they represent a brand, and so if we was to look at the black race, like black men, because black men been on that type of time. We've been had a shitty image of black men. And
not necessarily.
I think black men became conscious and decided to say we need to change that. But I think during the 80s and especially like the 90s, when every black man that was on television was a gangster, was a inmate, drug dealer, some kind of way, I think black men now decided to say we need to take better ownership of our image. And you see, more brothers playing like police officers and teachers, and you see, more black men doing more, stepping out of the arena of not just sports of entertainment. Like I remember seeing a movie with 50. 50 played a whole computer tech, like a computer nerd. Like they're deciding to take away from, they're deciding to say, hey, our image is pretty bad. We're now trying to do things that show that we are more than just, gangsters and pimps and drug dealers and so forth and so on. I don't think black women have caught that message yet. So they're still fighting it. And they have a mindset that says, well, why can't I still do them things and I still be celebrated for, why can't I dance to this particular type of music or do this to this type of thing and be celebrated for my mind? And they haven't realized that bad imaging is going to trump some of them good accomplishments. It may not be right, but it's the world we live in. So I think that your grandson,
that was
and the thing that's just really perplexing about that is, I don't know your mother, but I know you and know you for some time now, and I know that you don't fit them nasty stereotypes. But it just shows that them nasty stereotypes are that potent that even it could trump a good woman. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I have been around your kids, and the way they look at you, the way they honor their mom, it's amazing. So I'm looking like, but it's probably the images that he sees in combination to them few times that you're, you know what I'm saying? So it's like he probably see the images on social media, and then when he come home, he gets yelled at. And he probably deserve it. I mean, let's be real here. He probably deserve it. I've been telling you to put your sneakers up for so long.
Exactly.
And your sneakers are still there. You lucky I ain't do like my mama and throw your shits out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what I'm saying? So he probably deserve it, but because of all the images that are on social media and all the things that are bombarding and all the girls in his classroom that fit that particular image, to come home and get more of that, you know?
And it's crazy because one of the little girls in his class was bullying him. She was black, and and I told him she just liked him. He didn't believe me when I said that, but I was like, yeah, she likes you.
She likes you, right?
But I wanted to step back for a minute, and I want to correct you when you said you don't want your daughter to pick a guy like you, right?
Okay. All right.
Because I'm getting to, I know you and I'm getting to know you.
Right.
And you are a super dope dude.
I appreciate that.
So to say you don't want her to pick a guy like you, if you're talking about from an aspect of wealth, maybe financial wealth, that's one thing. But if she looks at you as a pillar of strength, courage, overall dynamic, and you know, some other great pieces of you, then yeah, she should look for a guy that has some of the aspects of her father.
I agree with you. I mean, again, for those who know me, and I try to be as vulnerable on this platform as possible as well.
And I'm not just saying it because it's Zach. I really do mean what I say.
I appreciate it. I really do. The one thing, like I said, when on this internet, oftentimes when you hear about, you know, especially, you know, I'm speaking for as a man, all the men seem like they always have everything always figured out, you know, and I'm like, I don't, you know, and so it's coming from a place of humility. Plus, it's a very much of saying that I'm not able to financially, like, I'm not saying I don't do nothing for her financially, but I'm saying, like, I would like to do so much more. And so there's a side of me, like, see, I've been a provider man, right? To where, baby, I got that. Don't worry about that. So when you're not in that position no more, it's sort of like a woman that may not be able to have children no more. It's like, if you can imagine, you took so much pride in being a mother, and then that not there no more, it cuts deep. It's like, damn, you know, it's like a part of my identity is gone. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and again, on this platform, we don't deal with perfect answers. You know, we don't deal with perfect situations. We talk about honesty and real things, and that honesty is just not coming from you. It comes from me as well. So it's a thing where I do see there's certain characteristics that I'm like, baby girl, you got to get this. And then there's other things that's like, man, baby girl, I made some terrible decisions. Like, let me give you one so I could be completely hit home. When I came home in 2020, you know, there was I was lucky enough to have a little bit of money. And then I was really lucky enough because I was able to walk my account up, you know, saying something respectable. And then I made a few piss poor decisions. And I was like, damn, I got messed up. And then I was thinking to myself, like, baby girl, you know, you just want to have a man that don't make that type of bonehead decision. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of saying that you want you want a perfect person.
Right. But it's just that all it is just that you just want more for your kid. Like, you just want, I honestly just want more for anyone that's in my life, or anybody. Like, I always say this, like, I may not be the best possible, you know, candidate in every area. There's some areas where I'm great at, and there's other areas where I'm still, that just happen to be one of the ones. But as far as character wise, though, I think I have a decent character, and I think, I try to, go by my word, and she could count on me, and I've proven myself countless times. Also, just by me spending 8 years away from her, you know what I'm saying? Like, for those who don't know, I spent nearly 8 years incarcerated. I did 7 years in prison and a year in a halfway house. So there's still a lot of guilt that I'm getting over with that. You know what I'm saying? So, the other day I went out somewhere and I seen a little girl. She had to be like 4 or 5. And I think she like grabbed my leg, like, you know what I'm saying? And we was out like kind of like at a mall, and she kind of like went by my leg, and and I was just thinking to myself, like, dang, man, I missed all this with my little girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, I missed all this. So there's still some guilt and everything else that I miss with my little girl, and things that I'm working on. It don't come easy.
Yeah, and I was going to say, I said all of that about your character, but I mean, everybody has their flaws. Everybody's not perfect.
Right.
There's things and there's aspects about who you are that, no one will ever know.
Right.
But, we always want the best for our children. And sometimes I even believe that we can cripple our children by continuing to initiate that they look for people better than us, or they do better than us and things like that. Because my son told me he thought we was rich, and I was like, where you get that from?
Right.
He was like, because I never saw you struggle. I never seen you cry. I never seen, our lights were never off.
Kids
stuff like that. And I'm like,
they are funny acting, aren't they?
Huh?
I mean, I said kids are funny acting. Because look, had you exposed them to the struggle, it'll be, my mama, all we did was struggle when we was younger.
I don't know. But you want to know what? Had I did that, you can't go back and say, woulda, coulda, shoulda, but I wondered, would it have changed something in them to make them go harder? You know what I'm saying?
My mom was very much like that. She wasn't, I knew she wasn't rich, because my mom, she's like a terribly cheap skate of a woman. Like, she free. How much is that? You know what I'm saying? It's like, she's an extremely tight woman. So I knew that. And actually, in some ways, honestly, I'm truly trying to like get my mom out of survival mode. Just full transparency. She still act like she's in survival mode. She'll take food. No lie. Hey, man, it is what it is. There will be like times where fruit will be molded on one side or bruised, and she'll cut around it. Now, me, I'll throw that whole side out. I'm like, man, throw this thing out. The whole thing goes in a river. But she'll be like, no. And she just remember the days where she didn't have anything.
But you know what? How many of us, and that touches on a topic about that whole narrative that black women are strong, right? And I may get chewed up for this, but I told some people, don't say I'm strong. Say I'm surviving.
Okay.
I have strength in certain things that I do, but I'm not strong. I could, I am.
Right.
But say that when you talk to me, don't say, Michelle, you a strong woman. Say, Michelle, get out of survival mode. And prosper in the things that you need to do. I'd rather for you to say that to me than constantly saying, you're a strong woman. You're strong. You can handle anything. No, I know how to maneuver through the drama and trauma that I'm going through. That doesn't make me strong. That means I just adapt.
True. I think that's a very important part that you bring up. I think that remember how I was saying that women need to change their value system? Women need to change, or at least adopt that. I'm not saying women need to be like Michelle. In fact, they do though. But but women need to adopt, to change some of that, because it's very hard to come to the defense of somebody that's beating their chest. We deal with, as men, where women are, I don't need you, and they clearly like you don't understand, like the way that we're sometimes looked at, like with so much disdain. The way our black women look at us with so much anger and the conversation be so condescending. But it'll be those same women that will say black men don't support black women, and black men don't do this, and black men don't do that. And it's like, you got to soften up a little bit. Like, we can't even get a smile out of you. We can't get a hello out of you. You know what I'm saying? But there'll be a time period, but let something go down. It's like, you expect for this man to give his life. So I think that women have to change that narrative and continuously saying what you said, some variation of it. I'm not strong. I'm just surviving. I'm not this. I still need the comfort and the care of a man. I just need the provision, because too many women have taken that and they went too far to the other side. And it's like, you know what? A lot of men have just become the point where it's like, you know what? Let her, like, sort of like what I was explaining to you before. It's like a kid walking. You want them to walk, so you're just going to move stuff out their way. You proven to me that if I grab your hand, you're going to snatch back. You're going, just like a kid, and you're going to storm the other way. So I just got to let you walk, and I just got to try to block as much obstacle as you possibly could get. I do say one of the things I always talk about on this platform, I know y'all gotta be tired of me saying it, but I'm continuously saying it, is I think black men and black women need to give each other more grace. I just feel like there need to be a soft place for us to land. This world has proven to us on so many occasions that they don't care for us, right? And some of that, we gotta have a hard conversation with that, because sometimes we prove that we don't care for this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, our community, our culture could be so, I don't want to call it apologetic, but what's the word of it? It's like, I don't want to say rude, but like inconsiderate. Like, our culture sometimes could be so like, I don't give a shit about anything else. Like case in point, and I know I'm kind of deviating, going a little off script with this one, but if you heard about the Carnival Cruise, and they were saying like how Carnival Cruise blocked, you can't play rap music, they can't play the flag song, and people were like, they're being racist. They're being racist. They don't like black folks. And it's like, have you ever considered that there's more than black people on this boat? Like, have you ever considered that there's maybe other cultures that might want to get they might want to have their version of that same line dance put on, and they can't get their stuff on? Like, have you ever considered the fact that there's other people who might just really want to come here and actually vacate and get away from all that?
Have they ever taken into consideration some black people don't want to hear rap?
Right. Not all of us want to hear it.
Right.
Not all of us want to hear it. It's
depends
like,
on your age bracket.
Right. So it's like, we have to be considerate of others as well.
Right.
And we can't just be like a bull in a china shop. It's like, we got to consider the fact. Sometimes I be seeing this on social media, and it'd be like the cursing and this, and it's like, man, sometimes you don't want to you want to get away from. I know for me, I came from a very aggressive, curse you out type of household. It's nothing but women in my family. Women, they ain't do no fighting, but they definitely did a lot of cursing. So sometimes when I hear women, I have a potty mouth, but when I hear women, especially when it's like repeatedly swearing, it become a turnoff to me. It's truly a penis repellent. It's like,
something real quick that you brought up. You know, a lot of times we say we don't want to be known for our color, our skin color. You know, we want to be identified as just being human beings. But then you go back to why they don't understand. I'm not trying to go down a rabbit hole.
Right.
It's like, again, goes back to, you can't want everything. Right. You gotta want one way or the other. You can't have it both ways.
Right.
You could try. You may not be successful, but
I think that's a lie that they tell women, that they can have it all. And I think when women don't get it all, they get upset.
Yeah.
It's like, it don't work that way. You can't be a street dude and expect to get the respect as a pharmacist or an engineer. You don't.
That's like in business. You can't think because you hustled for 20, 30 years that you can run a business.
Right.
It's different.
It's different. It got some parallels to it. I get it. But it's the same thing. You can't work the stripper pole. You can't work OnlyFans. You can't work all these different sex worker platforms, and then expect to be respected as as the mother of Mother Teresa, almost. Like, it don't work that way. Life doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? It just it don't. That's like a dog. If you've seen a dog biting the ass of everybody around, you're not going to respect the dog as being some cute, you know what I'm saying? Like a Yorkie. You're going to be like, nah, this dog is aggressive. It's going to get treated that way. And it's going to take a long time for you to change that narrative. You know what I'm saying?
And it's okay for a woman to be soft.
It is.
And dainty and sweet. It's nothing wrong with that. We don't always have to be aggressive.
Right.
Or to get respect. And I think a lot of times we believe in order for us to get respect, we have to be aggressive and affirm. We have to be very, very firm in what we say and what we do. Nah, I learned. What's the old phrase? You catch more
Flies. Right.
You catch more flies with honey than bees.
Right.
Because bees produce the honey.
Right.
But it doesn't take much to be kind and generous and just overall just a good person.
No,
that
I would
takes
agree.
nothing.
I would agree.
It doesn't take anything to put that out in the universe.
I would agree.
And but when you're taught that you have to do these things to be successful, and it's like, no, you don't.
And it's funny because a lot of people, they die on that hill. Like, I was taught to be this way, and it's like, we realized our childhoods was kind of crazy, y'all. like we realized our childhoods. That's why, like, for me, like, I remember when I first realized I was growing as an individual, I stopped listening to like comedians that would like brag about being broke, comedians that would brag about like not picking up the phone. Like right now, I owe a credit card. Full transparency, I owe a credit card right now, right? I not that I don't have the money to pay it. Full transparency. What happened of it is I paid my credit card, but every month when I look at my credit card, it don't look like nothing go down. I paid my monthly, and I pay about $80 beforehand, and it feels like nothing goes down. So I just got into a space where I was like, man, shit ain't gonna go down anyway. I'm making these payments for. I gotta get out of that. But before, I would laugh at it. Like, I would hear comedians be like, man, you don't pay up, we stay in debt. I'm like, yo, I'm not laughing at that. Like, this shit is embarrassing. You know what I'm saying? So I seen that, and then I started to look at also things in my childhood that I would have celebrated back in the day. Like, I would have been like, yo, like I used to be like, yo, my mom used to beat my ass. I don't have any brothers. I don't have no biological brothers. So I grew up in a neighborhood full of boys. So my mom, in her mind, she had to be tough on me. So I used to get my ass beat, get punched in the mouth, or get in all these different things. And my mom is thinking I'm being, she's doing right because I don't got a father. So she's trying to force dominance. And I'm thinking that it's the right thing to do, that she's making me tougher. But all she's doing is giving me the ammunition to kick everybody's ass around my neighborhood. Because now I'm thinking nobody can hurt me. The person that was supposed to love me, protect me, guide me, mold me, show me is the one that's hitting me. So now I got all the smoke for everybody. And we don't want to talk about that in our community. We like, why is our community so damn violent? It's bad enough they're not coming from a place of love. It's bad enough they're not coming from a place of like, man, I was with your dad for 10 years and, our relationship just went sour and unfortunately we ain't work out. Hell no.
I mean, but Zach,
it's like I met your dad at the club last week. I used to mess with his cousin. He tried to holler at my homegirl. It
goes back to the conversation. Like, we can't raise we can raise our sons. I'm gonna say that, but we can rear them. We can't raise them because I don't know how to. I don't know what it is and what it's like to be a man. Right. So how can I tell you how to be a man?
Right.
I can only tell you how to be a man from my perspective of the man
as that I want. As a man that you want. Right. You will. And it's damn, this channel not gonna stay on long. They're gonna get this channel blocked. They're gonna get this channel blocked. True, though. But if you look at the listen, I'm not saying women, because there's a lot of women that have had really shitty hands. They got dealt the really shitty hand. They have gotten a lot of women that was just told by men that then smooth talk them, have my son, yada yada yada. But there are also a lot of women that selected a lot of bad men, and I'll be just one of those women. If those women could just say, you know what, man, my picker is a little off, and I'm gonna have to just not, you know what I'm saying, like, because the women that the boys that they're actually raising, you know what I'm saying? And I know they're going to get mad at me, but let's look at the boys that are being raised out of these black households. We need each other. We need each other. And I would encourage this as a father. I'm just saying, as a father, I would just say that if you have a decent respectable man that you had a baby by, regardless if you with him or not, please put him involved in your kid's life. I don't give a shit if it's FaceTiming or something. Please get him involved in your kid's life.
Yeah, don't use him as a pawn.
Right, please, because if we're looking at it, if it's like this now, if it's looking like this now, what we gonna look like? What our culture is gonna look like in 30 years? You know what I'm saying? What is our culture going to look like in 30 years? So, but with that being said, man, we gonna have to wrap up, man. I guess this is the first episode of Singlish.
Right.
This is the first episode of Singlish. Full transparency, you guys. We were supposed to do We Hustle in Hills podcast, but if y'all haven't noticed, I just let the camera run and let it going out. I hope we didn't lose it, because that's the one bad part about being outside is it gets dark fast and it shows up in the camera and it's like but I really just truly enjoyed our conversation. I thank you so very much for this. I didn't realize how much I needed this. I did not realize it, and this is my therapy. So you know what I'm saying. Also, let me put this out here for all the people, especially women, that would like to get on this platform. I got to put that out there as well. If you would like to get on this platform, it's not just exclusive to a few folks. You got to have something to talk about. We're going to chop it up beforehand, because I'm not going to just put you on this camera and the conversation
well,
be
Zach
dry.
might have a script for you guys. He never has a script for me.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we just talk, man. We just talk. So, but I thank you for this. With that being said, tell people where you can find you, and then also we will be on a We Hustle in Hills podcast too. So so check that out as well.
My name is Michelle Vaughn. I'm the proprietor of Canvas Venue, located in the University City section of Philadelphia, where we host a lot of different types of events. So if you're ever looking for a place to just be adventurous, creative, and express yourself, hit us up on IG at canvas_venue, or give us a call at 484-416-1373. Oh, one more thing, Zach, I meant to, want to say this. We do have networking Mondays.
Networking Mondays.
Every other Monday. So the next one will be August 4th. So if you want to come down, and it's not your typical networking event. We're having conversations like this at our networking event. So we're building a community.
Nice.
So Zach
and
is
if
a part
anything
of
I could do on that part,
we got TJ, and we also have Frenchie Rose, who is a part of it. So it's a dope event. So if you're not doing anything on August 4th, come on through.
And if you are doing something,
at
stop
7 o'clock.
Right.
And then follow our page, because we have amazing events going on, especially with the culture, in the culture, as well as live music and poetry events and things like that. So, yeah. And I appreciate you, Zach. It's always a pleasure being a part of this.
This is dope. So I'm always grateful to have you on the platform. Anytime you need me for anything, I'm around for you. So with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the first episode of Singlish. Please hit.
Did we talk about being single?
Yeah, no, we talked about singles, the ills of dating. I mean, again, the ills of dating. It's a little bit of everything. It's like Singlish with a sprinkle of a hill dish. And we talked about, the financial side aspects of it. So, but please, I cannot stress this enough. Please, support this platform, man, and those channels that are like this as well, because this is truly what we need as our culture, to have these hard conversations. If you haven't felt triggered in this conversation, then something is wrong. You don't got a pulse. There gotta be something that's gonna trigger you, because I was triggered, you know what I'm saying? So there gotta be something that triggered you. But it's good that we can have this, we can sort of resolve, and we could actually get to it. We can start talking about the solutions. We gotta iron out the problem.
Yes.
I hate when people be like, yo, we're talking about the solution. Well, how are we gonna talk about the solution when we don't talk about the problem?
Because we haven't found the solution.
You know what I'm saying? So right, it's all one big round and roundy bouty thing. So with that being said, thank you so very much. This is Singlish. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Peace.
Zach, we went